Mr. Johns, could you tell us more about you have been appealing to the Biden administration to back support for Amrullah Saleh. What has the response been so far? Because India is a great friend of the Northern Alliance too.
Yeah, India has been a great friend, and I think that remains important. You have to judge this administration, the Biden administration, by their actions, not really their words. The words make very little sense to me anyway. Describing a Taliban 2.0, there's no indication of that. Saying we're going to judge the Taliban by their actions. Didn't we just see a month worth of actions? I mean, they just took the capital city by military force, displanted a democratically elected government, and committed a whole bunch of war crimes and human rights atrocities along the way. I mean, we're going to judge them by their actions. Those actions are abundantly clear. So my point is that this Constitution, which was signed in 2004, and which had broad participation by the Afghan people, has got to be the roadmap that governs the country going forward. And the only reason any government of the world would not honor it and recognize Saleh as the interim president and support the security of him and his team. If they're going to stay in Panjshir Valley, they should be secured up there. I don't want to see them have to go into exile. I don't think that's constructive. And the only reason you wouldn't do that is because you've got some other agenda that you want to pursue, because no one could look at this situation and make any apologies for the precedent that it's setting. The message that the whole world has just observed is, if you get enough guns and you get enough people willing to die, take control of the capital somewhere, go do it. Not only will you not be penalized, but we'll, send high-level officials to attend your inauguration and issue praise your way and send you foreign aid in the meantime. That's not the way this should be approached right now. So I think resistance is going to emerge in all kinds of corners throughout Afghanistan under the Taliban. The few things I can tell you is, number one, obviously historically Panjshir Valley, very difficult to conquer, but this is a different era now. The Soviets never got a hold of it from Massoud during the Soviet occupation, and the Taliban never got a hold of it during their reign pre 9/11. I think the base of opposition up there to the Taliban is just so intense that it's going to manifest. But there's very little in the way of any stronghold of support for the Taliban anywhere in the country.
Right.
And I think that, and on top of that, you've got a team governing this country that, let me just be blunt, because we get so distracted with how brutal they are in war crimes, human rights violations, executions, no trials, whatever they want to do. People in jail don't belong in jail. The abuses are there, much of it on video. I mean, it's atrocious. The women's rights abuses, et cetera.
Right. Absolutely.
They're also hugely incompetent. This is something we don't talk enough about. So they have people who have taken over, full ministries, who do not, I can tell you factually, have the operational expertise to perform these functions. This is not a government that can build schools, build highways, conduct elaborate finance, trade. They know how to wage war and how to enforce extreme Sharia laws arbitrarily when they feel like it. These are the two things that they've spent their whole lives learning how to do. And so there is this big void of leadership, and that makes them vulnerable right now, but not indefinitely, because it also is going to mean very quickly, especially that we've frozen their assets. They need help. They're going to need big help. And, I'm concerned very much with the development of a relationship with the CCP in Pakistan. And by the way, just another fact on the Taliban, how much credibility does their commitment to Islam have when their strongest global alliance could end up being with a government engaged right now in genocidal atrocities, 2 to 3 million Uyghurs in concentration camps?
Yes.
That they're just prepared to look right on by that because they see the magnitude of financial support that they think's awaiting them.
Right.
It's a sad recognition about the influence of money in the world, and I say that as a capitalist, but this is not capitalism. This is the law of the jungle, and I can't believe that we're tolerating. I can't believe the civilized world is tolerating it to the extent that they are. I really can't. And I do think Saleh is a very solid guy. I mean, for an underdeveloped country like Afghanistan, I see nothing but praise for him. And I'll tell you, even the released intel reports by our own government on him talked about his that he's got a sound set of ethics, and he's broadly a competent leader. And it's probably one of the reasons that he stayed, which is also an act of patriotism, because he could have very easily fled. And as far as Masood goes, if he's anything like his father, half of what his father was, he's got a lot of support there. And of course, he's got the defense ministry and others up there. I think those guys need to be protected, given what they just did to Saleh's brother in the roadside execution of him. They need to be protected and supported. That, and that's the opportunity that would exist for if America were going to step in right now and lead. And if I were there and really like counseling you'd have to come forward and say, look, we made some really terrible errors of judgment in this departure. We were anxious to bring this war to an end. 20 years, a long time. The American people have had enough of it, that's for sure. But we made a lot of errors. We could have done a better job, but we're not, we're gonna fix the situation. The way we're gonna fix it is respect the will of the Afghan people, not the terror of this movement that calls itself a government.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.